We spend so much of our working lives processing email. Now, if you're anything like me, you'll be getting hundreds of different emails every single day. So we need to be at the top of our game. And in this video, I'm going to show you my 11 favorite productivity hacks using Microsoft Outlook. Now, before we start, let's just have a quick intro. My name is Jonathan Edwards, also known as the Bearded 365 guy. I help businesses all over the world with their Microsoft 365. You can find more information at bearded365guy.com. Time for productivity hack number 1. And that is, don't create so many email folders. Instead, archive emails. Now, I might get some pushback from this because I know so many people who create dozens and dozens of different folders underneath their inbox. Sometimes they create subfolders within the folders. Now, this drives me absolutely crazy. How do you know where you filed each email? I just don't think there's any point doing this. Instead, Outlook provides an archive feature. You can simply open an email, decide what the next action is, and then archive that email away. Your goal is to get your inbox to 0 every single day. Now, before we move on to hack number 2, I'm going to jump onto that computer behind me and show you exactly what I mean when it comes to archiving. Now, this is just a test mailbox, so I've just got a handful of emails. But what I see time and time again are things like this. Underneath the inbox, people just create folder after folder after folder. And sometimes they even nest folders within folders. Now, I've just created 4 folders here, but I have literally seen dozens and dozens of them. Now, I can't imagine how this is good organization. How do you ever find anything? So what I'm proposing that you do is, instead of using folders like this, you use the archive function. Now, in every mailbox, you will see there's a folder here called archive. Now, this is just a folder there where you can archive emails away. So let's look at this email here. So this morning, I've gone for a run. I've done a 5K run. Okay, I've got an email to tell me that I've got a personal best. Whoopee-doo. But what I want to do now, I want to keep it. I don't want to delete it. But all I'm going to do then is just tap on the archive button. That email is now gone out of my mailbox and it's available in the archive folder. So I'll show you that as well with another email. I'm in the new Outlook here, which is over the web, but it looks exactly like the new Outlook client. Again, there's an Amazon order here. I want to keep it, but I don't want to delete it. So again, I can just tab the archive button here like that. And that goes into the archive folder. It's just a much tidier way of organizing your emails. Now, you might be thinking, that's not going to work for me. I don't want all my emails in essentially one folder. Well, I think it's time to move on to hack number 2. Okay, time for hack number 2. And this one goes hand in hand with hack number 1. You might be thinking, that archiving just isn't going to work for me. Well, hear me out, because hack number 2 is all about the most underrated Outlook productivity tool there is going. And that is categorize your emails. Now, before you archive your emails away, make sure that you categorize them. Now, you categorize them based on the next action. Maybe this email needs a follow-up when you've got more time. Maybe you're waiting for a response on this email. Maybe this email has something to do with an important project, or it's a newsletter that you want to read later. Whatever it is, make sure you categorize it. So the plan is categorize and archive. Let me show you how. So to access categories in the Outlook client, this is the old Outlook, we can go to categorize and we can go to all categories. Now, Microsoft have put these categories in here. We can rename them, we can change the color of them, or we can add new categories. Now, I much prefer the categories in the new Outlook or the Outlook web client. So to access there, you go to this little settings tab here. You then go to general and you go to categories. Now, this looks the same as the Outlook client. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on the pencil here And I'm going to rename this to something like, I'm then going to save it. I'm going to rename this one to something like waiting for. I'm going to save that. Let's rename another one. We'll call this, maybe I'm working on a project and it's a really important project. I need to categorize all their emails. So I'll call that Project X and I'll click on save. And then maybe this one here might be something like follow up and click on save. Now this is why I prefer the new Outlook or the Outlook web client, because what I can do, I can favorite my categories. So if I favorite the ones that I've just changed, now you might be able to see what's happening behind the scenes. I can then close that. All my categories appear here. So what I can now do, I can open this email here. I can apply a category to it. So maybe this is a newsletter. And I can then archive it away. So that has now disappeared into my archive folder. Let me continue doing that. So I will categorize this as something else. Maybe this is Project X. And I'll archive it away. So it's disappeared out of there. This is my wife's birthday coming up. So I definitely need a follow-up for that. So I'll categorize that. And I'll archive it away. I've now got a clean mailbox. But you can see I've got my categories here. So what I can simply do is think, well, what are all the items that I need to follow up with? This is it. What are all the newsletters that I've received? Here they are. What about all these emails relating to this project? Well, it's there. So that is why I prefer categories in the new Outlook. So what we're doing is we're categorizing and then we're archiving. Time for hack number 3. Now, there's people watching this video who will not trust the archive email technique. So far, we've categorized the emails and we've archived them away. So many people are thinking, I'm not going to be able to find the emails when I need them. Well, that is where hack number 3 comes in. People don't know how to use the advanced search function in Outlook. People just search with basic search terms for emails that they're looking for, and then they get frustrated that they can't find them. But if you know how to use the advanced search function in Outlook, all will be well. Let me show you how. So this is the Outlook installed on the computer, the old Outlook. To use the search, most people will just go to the top bar here and they just type something in, like MailChimp. Now, that has found the email I wanted, but again, this is just a small email box. It's only got about 5 emails. Pretending that you've got thousands, tens of thousands of emails and you've put them all in the archive folder. What you've got to do is use the advanced search. So at the top here, just click on the drop down and now we've got a lot more things we can search for. Now we can say I want to search for all emails with an attachment that I filed away with this category that is from whoever it's from, and then the date range. This advanced search makes the Outlook search much more powerful. Again, if we go over to the webmail here, we can do exactly the same. Go here, just click on these little drop down here, and we've got so many options that we can choose from. So the Outlook search used with categories and the archive feature is a really powerful tool. So hack number 4 is about scheduling email processing time each and every day. Now, some people might be watching this video and you might be thinking, no, sorry, I can't do that. I need to be always on. Well, let me tell you a quick story. I've run an IT company for the past 17 years. I know, I don't look old enough. I also run a busy YouTube channel, and I previously had that mindset. I've got to be always on. I've always got to have my mailbox open. And about 4 weeks ago, I got sick and tired of this. So I did something really different. I decided to book email scheduling time into my calendar. And the results were astounding. I closed my Outlook and I started off processing email 4 times every day. First thing in the morning, just before lunch, mid-afternoon, and then last thing at night. And I quickly realized that 4 times a day was too much. So I reduced it to 3 times a day. And today, just 4 weeks later, I now process my emails twice a day, mid-morning and last thing at night. I tell people that if they need me and it's urgent, just to call me. The results have been astounding. I'm able to get more things done around email. You still not convinced? Well, let's move on to the next hack, and I'll tell you exactly how I process email. Hack number 5 is the GT approach to email management. Now, last week, I arrived home from work, and I said to my wife, I'll come and talk to you in a moment. I'm just going to go upstairs and process my emails. Now, 5 minutes later, I came back downstairs, and she said, I thought you were processing your emails. You've only been 5 minutes. And I said, yes, because I've got a new way to process emails. It's called the GTD approach, and that is the next hack. So when I process my emails twice per day, I use this technique. Firstly, if this email can be responded to within 2 minutes, I just respond to it there and then. No messing around. Once I've responded to it, if that email needs categorization, I'll categorize it, and then I'll archive the email away. If the email doesn't need any action from me, but I do need to keep it, I'll just categorize it and archive it away. Now, if the email is junk, and I get a lot of junk, I just throw it into the deleted items folder. No more action needed. Now, if there's an email that requires a response that's going to take me longer than 2 minutes, then I categorize it with a follow-up category, and then I archive it away. And then I put that into my task manager. Task manager, did I hear you say? Time for the next hack. Now, believe it or not, Microsoft Outlook is not a task manager. I think that's worth repeating. Microsoft Outlook is not a task manager. So many people just use their inbox as a reminder to do tasks, and then emails just sit there for days or even weeks. And every time you see them, it's just an open-ended task, and it can cause so much anxiety. Now, if you're following the GTD approach to email management that we talked about earlier, any emails taking longer than 2 minutes will be categorized with a category called follow-up, and the actual email will be sat in the archive folder. But when are these tasks gonna get done? Well, you need to create a task in a task manager. And what better task manager to use than Microsoft ToDo, because it integrates with Outlook. You can create tasks and assign them a due date, and that way they will automatically appear in your calendar. Let's have a quick look how. So one of the reasons why I prefer the new Outlook is because it integrates really nicely with Microsoft's task management solution, which is called Microsoft ToDo. So I'm back in the new Outlook, the Outlook Web Access. What I've done, I've gone through all my emails, I've categorized them, and I've archived them away. I've got a task to do here. It's a fairly important task. I've got to order a birthday card. So I've done the right thing. I've categorized it with to follow up. That is a next action from me. But I need to take it a step further. So what I can do here, if I go over to the right-hand side, is I can pop out my calendar and my to-do. So this is my calendar, but I can also go to the tab here, which is all the tasks that I've got to do. And all I simply do here is drag this over and add it as a task. I can then go into this like this, and I can change this from here. So I can change the name of it like that. I've also got a little email thing here. So if I click on there, it will always take me back to the original email. So if I now pop over to do here, which opens the full to do, you'll see that that task has appeared here. Now what I can do is I can open this task up, and I've got a lot more options. I can add due dates, I can repeat, I can add files to it, and again, I can link back to that original email. So the best thing to do is have a category which indicates that more work is needed, and then you can drag them into to-do, and you can start to plan your days properly. Time for hack number 7. Do you ever get an email and it needs some kind of action, but not just yet? Just today, I got an email about an event that I'm booked onto, and the title was, Time to Start Planning Your Event. Now, this event is 6 weeks away. It's not time to start planning it at all. Now, what I could do is I could categorize this and I could archive it away. That would be sensible. Or I could snooze the email. Now, the new Outlook has a snooze email feature. So I can snooze this email and the email will completely disappear out of my mailbox. And it will be redelivered at a date in the future that I choose. Let me show you. Okay, I'm back in my email now, and I've got this email. I've been invited to an event. Now, this event is 27th of June. It's about 4 or 5 weeks away from now. Now, I might want to go to this event, but the thing is, I don't really want to think about it just now. So what I can do is I can right-click on this email and I can snooze it. Now, I've got some options here. I can snooze it till later today, tomorrow, this weekend, next week, or I can choose a date. So I can think, well, I'll make this decision in early June. That'll give me a few weeks. And I can click on save, and that email has gone from my mailbox. Now you can see down here, I've got a folder called Snoozed. So that email is available if I want to go and grab it back. It's got this little clock icon to indicate that it's in snooze mode, and it's got a return time here. So the return time is early June. Now what will happen on that date is that email will automatically come out of the snooze folder and it will go back into my inbox. And then when I see it, I can make a decision on that event. So that is the snooze feature. Time for the next hack. And this is all about replying to emails faster using email templates. Now, we spoke earlier in this video about the GTD approach to email management. And this involves replying to emails that can take us less than 2 minutes there and then. Well, do you ever find that you write the same emails over and over again? For example, you might have people requesting a meeting with you and you always hit the reply button and you type the same email. Or perhaps you have people interested in your services. Again, you hit reply and you spend about 10-15 minutes listing all of your services. So this is where email templates come in. You can spend a bit of time initially creating some email templates, and then when you need to use them, it's just a few clicks of the mouse. A 10-minute email could take you about 10 seconds. Let me show you how. Okay, before you can use templates, you've got to add them into Outlook. So firstly, I'll show you how to add them into the Outlook client. You will go to All Apps at the top here, and you go to Add Apps. Okay, once that's there, you can see that My Templates is there. But what I'll do as well is I will show you how to add it in the Outlook web. So we'll go over to here, we'll click on the apps, and we'll click on Add Apps. And you can see that My Templates is there, so we'll simply click on there, and we'll click on Open, and we'll click on Got It. Now that should now be added to my Outlook. So once that's been added to Outlook, I can simply click on Send a New Email, or I can reply to an existing email. I can just open this in a new window, and then I simply go to here, and I click on My Templates. Now the My Templates pop-out will open, and Microsoft have provided 3 templates, very basic ones that you can use to get started. If I want to use any of these templates, I can simply click on here, like that, and you can see that the text will go into the email. If I want to amend any of these, I can click on here, or I can delete them. But crucially, you can start creating your own templates. I would simply click on here, and the first thing is I would name the template, and then I would enter the text that I want to send to someone. Okay, I've just entered the text that I would enter. So I'm just basically saying, please book into my calendar. I've called this meeting request, and then I can save that. And that now appears here. So let's just go through that again. If someone now contacts me and they want to use my services, I can simply go to here, and click on here, and then I can send that email. How much time has that saved me? Now, I do need to add a to, but if I'm replying to an email, that will already be there, and I will have to add a subject. Again, if I'm replying to an email, I won't have to. But that has just saved me quite a few minutes. Time for the next Outlook productivity hack. Do you ever have this happening in your life? Hi, John. Can we have a meeting at 2 o'clock on Monday?
I'm sorry, John. I'm away on Monday. How about Tuesday at 11 o'clock?
Tuesday at 11. I'm processing emails at that time. Why don't you save all of this hassle by simply including a link to your calendar in your Outlook signature? How easy is that? I'll show you how. Okay, once again, I'm in Outlook Web Access. Now what I can do, I can go to the settings at the top, and I need to go down to email and compose and reply. Now you can see I've got a signature thing going on here. So what I can do is just call this my signature name, like that. And then I can enter the signature. So I can put something like, that's just a basic signature, but now I want to add the link to my bookings. Okay, so what I would do, I would first of all get the link to my bookings if I go over to here. And if I open bookings from here, which is this one here, now I've got all my bookings pages. Now, I've not done any extra configuration here, but I would simply choose the personal booking page and I get that link. Then I'll go pop back over to here, and then I will create the text. I could do that. I can then alter this so it's a different color, maybe something like it's blue, it's bold, and then I would highlight that and I would link to my bookings page. And now that is a clickable link. So if I save that, I come out of here, I select a new email, and what I would do here, again, I'll pop it out here, insert my signature. Now I can do this automatically if I want to, it's on every email, but there you go. And when I click on that, it is now a link to my bookings tab. Really fancy. Time for the next hack. Wouldn't it be great if we had some kind of technology in the background processing our email for us? Well, we can do all of this with the power of Outlook rules. We can have rules to categorize certain emails, rules to delete other emails. We can have rules for all kinds of things. Let me show you how. Okay, here's a really good example of an Outlook rule. I've just got an Amazon order here. Now, I need to keep this email because I need it for my accountancy. So what I usually do with this is I would open the email and I would forward this email on to my accountant. Okay, so that's manual action from me. Once I've finished with that email, I would archive it away. So I forward it on and then I archive it away. There are 2 steps that I have to repeat on so many emails every day. So any invoice I get, I've got to forward it onto my accountant and archive it away using precious time. So how about instead if I do this? First of all, I'm going to grab the email address that this has come from. So it's just come from Amazon there. I'm then going to go to the settings and I'm going to go to email and rules. Now I've got no rules at the moment, so let me add a rule. We'll call this something that describes it. Now rules are all about conditions and actions. So if this email meets this condition, do this with it. So this condition on this occasion is going to be from, if this email is from this address, the action will be, we're going to forward it. Now this is just a made up email address, my accountant at bearded365guy.com. That doesn't exist. That is just a made up email. Just get there like that. And then I'm going to add another action. And instead, I'm now going to move this to my archive folder. And if I save that rule, that will happen. So automatically, Outlook will pick up this email, it will forward it to my accountant, and it'll move it to the archive folder. Now imagine if you have dozens and dozens of these rules in place. It will save you processing so much email. Let's move on to the next hack. And now for the final tip. I don't know if you know, but Microsoft have recently released an AI product called Copilot for Microsoft 365. This has been designed to help us with our productivity, and it works with Microsoft Outlook. Now, Copilot for Microsoft 365 is quite expensive. It costs about £285 for one license for 1 year, but it can help us do a ton of things. It can help us draft new emails. It can help us summarize emails. All of this is aimed at saving us time. Now let's have a look at Copilot for Microsoft 365 in Outlook. Okay, this is my Outlook. Now it's the new Outlook. So if I just open a new email, and I'll just pop this into its own window here. Now you can see I've got this draft with Copilot. I've also got a Copilot tab here where I can also draft with Copilot. Now I can feed Copilot with whatever I want. So let me just put something in here, for example. Email Simon and tell him that I hope he's enjoyed his holiday, but I want that sales report for this week. Now I've got a little tab here and I've got some options. So we can be direct, we can be neutral, we can be casual, we can make it a poem. I'm going to be casual and I want quite a long email, but we have different lengths. For this, I'd probably choose short, but I just want to show you the power of Copilot. So let's generate something for Simon. Okay, Copilot has created a nice email for Simon. It's maybe saved me a bit of time. I've got some options here. I can change anything within here if I want. I can regenerate it, so Copilot will do this again. I can get rid of it, or I can think, yeah, okay, that's good. So all I'd have to do then is put Simon's email address in here and a subject and send it out. Obviously, when we're replying to emails, so this was just a new email, but pretend I've got an email that I need to reply to, and it's quite a long email. If I just draft that with Copilot, it could save us a lot of time. Now, also within Copilot, we've got the ability to do much, much more. So let me give you another example here. I've got an email here. It's about a conference for MailChimp. Now, what I can do, I can scroll down, I can read it all. I can do all of that. Or what I can do is click on here, and I can say, Copilot, please summarize this email. And it's just done that. So it's condensed all that email into just 4 or 5 lines. Now, again, imagine if I was involved in a long email chain that had lasted weeks between multiple people. I could just get Copilot to summarize it for me. So it can save much more of our precious time. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've got a lot from it. I'd love to hear what your favorite productivity tip is. Comment below the video. I look forward to seeing you again soon.